What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, and today we are going to be talking about the newly acquired 47-quart Setpower refrigerator that I think is perfect for anybody who car camps. Now, before we dive too deep into the specs and the details, I do want to say that Setpower sent me this refrigerator for free, but I have been testing it now for about 2 weeks. I took it on a cross-country trip with my family and I, so I do have some real-life experience. I'm going to give you the good, I'm going to give you the bad, and it's going to be unbiased, but I do want you to understand that they sent this product to me for me to test and review, so I can give you my honest interpretation of if I think this is a good product for you and your vehicle build. Now, in the world of overlanding and overland refrigerators, parts, pieces, and accessories, it seems like the list of available options for people like you and myself seems to continue to go on forever. And there are those legacy companies that have been around since the beginning of the overland craze. And we know that a lot of times their products are more expensive. And we assume by spending a little bit more, we're getting more robust quality, we're getting more robust detail. And there's reasons why we decide to spend as much as we do on the components we outfit our vehicles with. But that doesn't mean there aren't options out there for people who want to spend less money to get a product that more than likely is manufactured in pretty much the same exact way. It is slapped with a different label and it is sold for half the price of the other competitors. So what I want to do today is pretty simple. I am going to bring the fridge over here behind me and we're going to talk through each individual detail that I think is important for you to know. We're going to talk about the good and we're going to talk about the bad. We're going to talk about the specs, the sizing, how this may work for your vehicle, and a reason or two why it may not work for you, your vehicle, and the family size that you travel with. I chose, when they offered me a free refrigerator, I chose the 47-quart. I think the 47-quart is the perfect size for short weekend style trips with a family of 3 or 4 max. If you're going for several weeks at a time and you genuinely intend to be completely off-grid with no access to resources or grocery stores, then I would suggest you go bigger. But there's another reason why I decided to go with a smaller fridge. In the back of my Outback Wilderness, I sleep in that when I go on solo photography trips. So if I'm on a solo photography trip, I don't want to set up a tent. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. I want to be able to climb in the car once I get parked and stationary for the night, and I want to be able to sleep inside my vehicle. Larger refrigerators make it extremely hard for me to do that. So that is why the 47-quart for me, and I think for most people, is probably the best size. And if you can get a product that has a great construction, it has reliability, it has a low voltage cutoff like this one does, it's going to be a pretty easy option to either spend $400 or $800. Okay, so let's start off by talking dimensions, because when you're picking a overland style fridge for a car, knowing exactly how tall it is and true specs is pretty important. Now, we are looking at just about from the bottom of the feet to the top, 19¼ inches tall. And for me, that's important because I want to know if this is going to sit up above the back seat, or if I have a cargo shelf, if this is going to fit underneath it. Now, we're going to call this the width because I guess that's what makes most sense in this particular scenario. It is 25½ inches from left to right if you're staring at it like this. But the other thing I think that's important is that we measure it this way, because the reason I chose the 47-quart is because how slim this refrigerator is. When it sits on the driver's side of my vehicle, I can then put down the passenger side back seat, and that's where I can sleep. So this only takes up 14½ inches from side to side. That to me was important in picking this fridge, and maybe that's important to you, so hopefully that's helpful while you're kind of watching this video and making a decision. Okay, so obviously you can tell that this refrigerator does have an aluminum exterior shell with this little yellow accent. I like aluminum exterior refrigerators. I just think they look better. It doesn't cost a whole lot more generally to get an aluminum sided refrigerator or an exterior refrigerator, but I like the look of this, and that's kind of why I went with it. Now the top is a plastic top, so it's a very simple plastic top with these latches that allow you to close and seal the refrigerator when you're using it. Those are always a plus for me. I don't like the refrigerators that shut and you have to push down really hard on the top to get them to latch. I prefer to have a mechanism that keeps this tight, because there's no question if I left it open or not. If these latches aren't closed, I know that I have left the refrigerator open, and it's just going to be attempting to cool and probably not capable of doing so. So the inside of your refrigerator is just like the inside of any other refrigerator. I actually have this turned off, so let me get it turned back on real quick. That way you can see it functioning. Now, it has your two baskets, one big one on the left side and then a small one on the right side. So one thing to keep in mind is this small one would be great for freezing any items or any items that you want to keep colder longer or get colder quicker, because the compressor is over here on the left hand side, which allows this side to stay colder and get colder quicker. This would just be for your normal everyday stuff, drinks, whatever it may be that you have in here, food. And, you know, with the little light, you can see in case you forget your headlamp or it's dark, you know, it's just, most fridges have this, but just showing you that this one has it as well. So you can make the best decision possible for you. Okay, so let's talk about this side, because there is nothing on the other side. This is the side that is the most important, and it has all of your temperature controls and all of your compressor speeds. What I like about this refrigerator the most out of all the refrigerators I've ever had, and I'm not just saying that because they sent this to me for free, is you have the ability to control with this button over here your compressor speed. So if you need to get this down to temperature quickly, you can put it on max. If it's not a big deal, or it's not something that you need to worry about getting it down to temperature very quickly, or you want to minimize the sound that comes from the compressor, you can very easily switch this and put it on minimum. So now that compressor is running at a lower speed and it's not trying as hard to cool this down. What I will say about the compressor in this is it is actually quieter than my Dometic refrigerator. You can hear my Dometic refrigerator in the back of my Lexus GX460 when it's running, and you can hear it very clearly. This was sitting directly behind me on our most recent trip across the country, and I never heard the compressor a single time. I don't know the decibels, but the compressor is extremely quiet. And if you're trying to sleep next to your refrigerator, you'll know that when your compressor kicks on and your refrigerator starts cooling, having a loud compressor can become annoying. Another great thing about this little control panel is it has your battery protection level. So depending upon your vehicle, or depending upon how you're running this, if you are running this off a outlet in your home and maybe this is just a backup refrigerator in your garage, that doesn't matter, because you're not going to need to worry about your low voltage. Now, if you are in a car, you can control how far down this refrigerator will draw your battery. That's something that a lot of big name refrigerator companies do not have. It will actually allow you to take it from low, so you can take your battery all the way down to roughly 10 volts, or high. So high is more protective, low is less. Now, just like most refrigerators in the Overland world, you can control your temperature. You can turn it up to make it cold or warmer. You can turn it down to make it colder if you wanted to use this as a freezer. I'd like to keep mine at 32. Keeps things from freezing. Usually works pretty well for me. That's just the way I like to do it. Now, this little sticker may seem stupid, but it's actually very helpful, because when you're running your fridge, if you get an error code on here, you don't have to go get your manual to figure out what the error code means. And I can't overstate how awesome and important that is, because if E3 pops up and I don't have service, I'm going to have to go either find my manual, which I never carry my manual with me when I travel, or drive somewhere to get service to find out what that means. In this case, an E3 is a motor start error. So not saying that you're going to be able to fix it, but you will be able to at least know what's going on just by having this simple sticker here. Yes, it's kind of ugly, but it serves such a good purpose to know what's going on if your fridge stops working. Also, your fuse is down here and your power in is right here. You just use the same exact slot for AC and DC power, and I will show you the charger in a moment. It's actually pretty cool. Kind of finicky, but it works. It serves a good purpose. And then your latches are all spring-loaded, so you can use this as a tie-down point for your refrigerator slide, or you can just use them for handles, but they are spring-loaded, so they snap back and shut when you're not using them. Okay, so now let's talk about the adapter, the charging adapter. So this is obviously what you plug into your AC power, and this is the same exact cigarette lighter that we used for DC power. The only difference on this adapter is when you want to use AC power, you simply plug this in, and it does eliminate you from needing additional cords or any of that. The one thing I will say, especially if you're driving off-road, you're on bumpy roads, this little adapter is slightly finicky. So if it comes out just slightly, it will shut the power off in your fridge. So if you're going to be using this on AC, predominantly in your vehicle, maybe you use a power station and that's why it's on AC, you're going to want to make sure that this dongle is pushed in, and then you add a little bit of tape just to hold that together. You're not going to have an issue with it if you're at home, but if you're not at home and you're driving around in your car, I could very easily see this coming disconnected, your refrigerator turning off, and it's just a matter of time before you notice it, but that matter of time could ruin some food or whatever the case may be. So overall, I like the contraption. I like the little dongle is what we'll call it, but it does have its limitations, so make sure if this is what you use to charge inside your vehicle through AC, you are adding some tape here to hold this all together. So a little bonus product I want to talk about. This does not come with the refrigerator, but this is a fantastic little product to add in addition to your fridge. On the Setpower website, they sell these small battery bank power systems. Now, I don't know the exact size of this. I will put the link to this in the description so you can check out how much runtime you'll get out of it. But the nice thing about this little unit, not only can you use this to charge your phone, I also use this slot to charge my camera batteries because I have a USB style battery charger for my camera batteries. So I plug this in and I just plug 2 batteries in while I'm sleeping. You can take this up in your tent with you. It's not a big battery bank that you got to carry around. It's nice and small and it does the job. The best part about this though is it's magnetic, and it works as a battery source for your Setpower refrigerator. If you want to run this maybe while you're sleeping, you don't want to take your battery down to a low voltage, whatever it is, you can simply plug this in and it'll run your fridge just off this little unit. Now, depending upon the conditions, you're probably going to get between 6 and 10 hours of runtime on your refrigerator. That has to do with your compressor speed, what the temperature is outside. If it's extremely cold, you won't have to worry. If it's extremely hot, your compressor is going to be running a lot, so it probably won't keep it going for too long whatsoever. But it has a little readout, let you know exactly how much power you have left, and it only takes about an hour to charge off an AC outlet. You can connect it directly to your refrigerator, and you can have this source for your refrigerator, or just so you don't lose it, you can take it with you at night, disconnect your fridge, and take it up into your tent with you. This little product is super, super cool. I would highly recommend if you pick up one of these refrigerators, you grab one of these too, because it has multiple purposes, multiple functions. It's just going to make your overall experience much better having a small portable battery bank that has dual purposes. So after all of the details, all of the information, I hope the video was helpful for you. If you like videos like this and photography stuff and van life stuff, vehicle builds, adventures, stuff like that, hit the subscribe button so you can come along for further adventures, and I will see you on the next one.